Hello YouTubers, Tross here, playing some Minecraft. Haven't put up a Minecraft video in a while, but I have something a little special here for you today. And I have I'm here high above my creative world, and I have a new to me, mob farm design. I didn't design this. This is actually designed by Ben J. Habert. That's his YouTube channel name. So go check him out. He explains exactly how this works in more detail than I can. But I'm going to go over the basics. This is the control circuitry here for it. It's relatively simple compared to certain Redstone creations. And this is a floor of the mob farm, and it uses a slime bar here that will move along this area and wipe or swipe mobs off this spawning platform and into chutes at either end. Now I have this set up with a little safety mechanism so that when it's off, we're powering the lights back here to, this configuration doesn't completely stop spawns. I have another version that will completely stop spawns, but this lights up most of the area. It does get to 7 and 6 along here, so there are a few spawning spots when the lights are on and this is all covered, which is the normal operation. This is the, one full version of the, actually, that's not even a full version, but that's more of what the farm looks like. There is 6 spawning floors here. Each floor here, it's 8 blocks wide and 29 blocks long. That makes a lot of spawning spots. I had it here. Sorry about that. It's 232 spawning locations. For the whole 6 floors, that's the one I knew offhand, that's just under 1,400. It's like 1,392 spawning spots, which is quite a lot. And I even have a double version that I'll be showing you a little later. The magic here, though, is in this double piston hooked up to slime. The 2 pistons and the slime make exactly 12 blocks, including these 4 sandstone blocks, and all of them move with this. This redstone line here is pulsed in a special operation over a 5-tick loop, such that it's on for a tick, off for a tick, on for 2 ticks, and then off again. As I said, I did not come up with this. Ben J. Habert did. And I'll turn it on and we'll see how it goes. We'll just flip this switch here. And you can see the slime bar just moves, gets to the end, reverses direction, and comes back. I can't add any more blocks onto that. I would have liked to have another block at the edge there. But basically, there's several ways you can set this up. You can have the floor made out of a non-movable block, such as these furnaces, and you could have the slime bar go right along that floor, but the whole floor would have to be made out of furnaces, and it's a lot of work, a lot of cobblestone there. I have moved it up one, and I'll show you the full version. I have 3 block heights, and this allows any mobs to spawn in here, including endermen. So, and spiders as well. Spiders will get pushed off most of the time, although they can slip under the little corner here. But this will basically push any mob off. They will fall quite a ways down to these hoppers, and they should die. Not sure. Well, this little guy didn't die because he's on a chicken. I'm not sure why this guy didn't die. But you can collect all their drops here. You can see I got enderpearls, bones, rotten flesh, arrows, string, enderpearls, and even some witch drops like bottles, glowstone, and redstone, and some sticks. Also, we have gunpowder from creepers and also witches. So you get a lot of drops here. You don't get everything. You don't get any armor from skeletons. You don't get armor from zombies. But I have a solution for that too. But let me just briefly go into what I know of how this works. Again, if you want to know exactly, Ben J. Habert has a nice description, including how the timing works. But when you turn this on, it sends out a quick pulse through this monostable circuit. Additionally, this gets pulled out. When you turn it off, this block is pulled out of the clock circuit, so the clock stops. And the bar stops. But once it's going, if you don't know, redstone signals can go up half slabs, but not down. So as soon as this gets powered here, we get a pulse that goes up, and this is a 1-tick pulse clock. So it's a single quick pulse. But then there's a delay of 2 ticks, which allows that pulse to go off, on for 1 tick, then off for a tick. And then this will then send a 2-tick long pulse up here. And then it will go off for 1 tick before the signal makes it around again back to here and repeats that process. That causes, the way this works, one of these pistons extends before the other, pushing the slime bar and the other piston along. But the pistons sort of have a reset period. So before that piston gets reset, the other piston gets activated by the second half of the pulse, and it shoves out and then pulls that first piston along again. Then what happens when it reaches the end here, let's say we are traveling in this direction, this piston pushes out. This piston is pushed beyond the edge of the signal and then pulled back, and then it becomes basically the dominant piston, and the whole thing again moves this way. It doesn't matter which orientation you build this in, one of the pistons will start firing first. So it will, when you first start it up, always start heading in one direction, even if it was headed in a different one previously. But it doesn't really matter. It's gonna go by and sweep all the mobs. This was Ben J. Habert's design here. I added on a little torch on the side here. This comes around and over and just runs along here and turns on and off all the lamps. On a later version, which I'll show you a little bit later, I also have lamps on this side as well, but they get broken up by this in the center. Now, once you have this working, you can continue extending this half slab line all the way up, or up further I should say, and that's what I've done here. In fact, I have another repeater that makes it go even further to get a full 6 floors here, which should be more than plenty for spawning spaces, but I have an even crazier version that I'll show you over there. But this height here is 212. I'm built this so, not that I have caves here, but if there were caves, we'd be high enough that standing here wouldn't spawn anything in them. In fact, this should be 24 blocks above that roof. We're here at 236. So I probably should extend this a little higher, but you want to be 24 blocks actually higher than this spawn platform so you don't stop the spawning of mobs by being too close. Then we have 6 floors, and then a fall of 40 blocks, and this is about 90 blocks from the AFK platform, so the mobs won't despawn before they hit these hoppers, and it's 40 blocks just so if they do have armor, we should still kill them. Let me turn this version on, and you can see how it goes. So you can see it's all dark in there, and there are mobs, probably a little too close to this edge, but mobs will spawn, and you can see they'll fall. Different groups fall as the swipers come, and you can see it. You get a pretty good group of mobs, and you have to remember they're falling on both sides. So as the pistons and the slimy wipers or swipers or whatever you want to call them reach the other side, they're also pushing mobs down on that side. You can see some endermen there, quite a few mobs. So you can see we collect a good number of mobs and their drops. This side would work, or does work the same way. Just changed around how it looks. But you can see I have some armor in here. So this side can be used as a armor farm and also an XP farm. You can see we also have spider eyes, which we didn't have on the other side. And to do that, I have an extra lever there, and that comes up and activates this mechanism here. It pushes the glass in on this side and the wall in on that side, and then dispenses some water here. So the mobs will fall a little bit, but then they'll hit the water and not get damaged. But the water will push them to the edge here, in which case they'll fall exactly 22 blocks. That will injure normal mobs to a half a heart. And then you can use your sword or potions of healing or harming, depending on what mobs are here. Or you can even set up like a TNT, water, so that it doesn't blow up the blocks, but the explosions will damage the mobs. And that will get the armor to drop off. It will act as if you killed them if you ignite the TNT with a flint and steel. Additionally, I've left a little half-block room there and on this side, which will leave room for the XP to come out. So let's flip this. The pistons has pushed in, and the water has been released. You can see all the mobs fall. And then they will fall down here. The spiders sometimes will die. They seem to take a few hearts of damage by the pushers. But now I can get out my trusty sword, or even just punch them. They should all take, except for the armored guys, they'll take a single hit. You can see their XP is coming out this way. Let's throw some healing. And now for the creeper harming. And you can see this works pretty good. Oh, did I accidentally break that glass back there? Oops. I'm in creative, obviously, so my hitting the mobs, if I miss, will take out blocks. So you just gotta wait a few seconds and you'll get more mobs coming in. And it's rather easy to take them out, and you'll get an XP coming out there, and you'll get all their drops, including armor. because you're manually killing them. Of course, we're using this to get them down to 1 hit point. They kind of get slowed up here, but as more drop, they'll get pushed off. So it works decently. Here, some more. And then, obviously, you can just come over here and shut it off, and all the lights come on. Some mobs will obviously be still in here, not pushed off yet, but, I mean, that's how it goes. So, if 1 works well, I thought 2... be better seeing it from the side. 2 will work even better. Got the ladder up to the AFK area, but now, instead of just having 1 side off of this pillar, we are basically powering 2 sets of mob wipers, 6 floors each, for just under 2,800 spawning locations. This side has the lights on both sides, so there are no valid spawning locations at all when it's off. Little complex running all the wiring to keep it from interfering or to keep the lights from blinking, but got it done. So we can turn this one on, and there they go. A little hard to see, but oh, is there a light stuck on in there? Not sure why that would be. See all the mobs falling. Oh, is there all these lights appear off? Oh well. Oh, I bet it's some light leaking in. I had a oh, there you go. That should take care of it mostly. Yeah, now it's just a little bit of light, and that won't. Well, what is going on over there? See, it looks like it's coming from that side, but that light is off. That's a lighting glitch. With the overhang here, it should be a light level 7 on the edge, even though it's a little bit. Mobs should still be able to spawn. They can't spawn when I'm near it, so that's the problem there. But basically, this side is the normal, just drop and collect side. You see all the mobs falling. And then this other side here is the collect and kill side. See all the XP there. We'll get the rest of the mobs here. Witches are the only problem. They, at least the only problem for potions. I'm sure if I set up a TNT killer, that would take care of them. And this obviously was, I basically just threw this together relatively quick for demonstration purposes, so some armor to drop there. So you could also have the other side open, but I can apparently reach all the mobs here. So you can go at them with your sword or punch them. How did you get out here? Oh well. Yeah, the only issue with having the water stream here is you're not going to get endermen, because when they hit the water they will teleport away. But this is relatively configurable. You can have it like this. If you don't want to manually kill them, you can flip this off, and then the pistons will retract. The water goes away, the pistons retract, and now the mobs will just fall to their death like they do on the other side. Although the ones that were in the water may not die. But I left these windows open here just so you can. There you go. Take care of them. There you go, guys. So I have a few other ideas. Actually, Ben J. Habert had a few other ideas. I will explain those quickly. So if you have something like this, you can knock those out and have the floor all be dirt and plant sugarcane. And then as it grows, this will go back and forth. It will knock the level 2 and 3 off. But the level 1 won't get stuck to the slime, just because of the way it works. And all the items will fall on the floor. Then all you need to do is run some hopper minecarts underneath, and they will go back and forth and pick up all the sugarcane. And then you have a pretty big automatic sugarcane farm. Let's put this back on my toolbar here. The other thing you can do is also kind of just like this, although in this case you have to knock this last one off, although you're still going to use an 8 wide floor. If you put the blocks like this, you can now have a automatic melon farm. You basically, again, you have this all dirt. That's one thing I should mention. For the sugarcane farm, you'd have to have basically water, dirt, dirt, water, dirt, dirt, water, dirt, because the sugarcane has to be next to water, so you'd have to do stripes of that, or you could do individual little blops of water and have sugarcane around that, and then have like another one over here with sugarcane around that. So yeah, not exactly straightforward, but it's not too hard to set up. For melon farms, you can do melons or pumpkins. You would till the soil here, basically wherever there's a space here, and that's where you'd plant the vines. You plant them every single one so that the melons would have to grow here, or here, or here, or here, where these blocks are. Now when this went, the blocks would hit into the melons, breaking them. And then again you have hopper minecarts running underneath, picking up the melon slices or pumpkins, whichever you need to grow, whichever you happen to grow. And again you get a nice big, relatively resource efficient automatic farm. And you just need some rails and a few powered rails to have the minecart going, and then just a place where it would stop and be over a chest so it would empty out into the chest. So that's other possible uses for this. And that's just, 2 of them. I have an idea, but I don't have it ready. I'll maybe have something next week. I'm going to try to turn one of these farms into a record factory. I think using a mechanism like I had over here, I'll be able to capture some of the mobs and then separate out a skeleton and the creepers and get these skeletons shooting at the creepers. It's not going to be fully automatic, but it'll be semi-automatic. I think you'll have to set it up a little bit, but then after that, it will run automatically until you lose the skeleton by traveling far enough away that he despawns. Now, potentially you could rename the skeleton using a name tag, but I'm not going to go that far. Basically, you'll have to watch it. I'll have a button when a skeleton comes, and you'll press the button to get the skeleton, and then he'll be shifted into a little water stream that will take him where he needs to go, and then you can leave it running, and I'll use a cat to scare the creepers into another path. But then after that, they'll be caught in some water, dropped in front of the skeleton while the skeleton is shooting his bow and arrow, and hopefully it works out and we get some records out of that. I'll see. I'll have to work on it. It's going to be it's going to be a much more complex mechanism than what I have currently, but with the wipers coming and dropping mobs in periodically. Where did all the mobs go? Did I hit the mob cap somehow? Is this one still running? You're not running. Where did all the mobs go? Anyway, that is my plan. It will probably take a little bit. Oh, yeah, there's some. That one just poofed over here. Carrots, even. The other thing you'll probably definitely need is, if you do have something set up like this, you'll need a sorting system. I just have 2 chests right now as an example of how you can have things work. Obviously, you can take stuff out of the chests into a big sorting system, so you get all the mob drops in separate areas, because you're going to get quite a big number of mob drops. Now, this is probably not the most efficient farm, but it's not bad. See, we have decent numbers of mobs every time a wiper comes to the edge, and yeah, performs pretty well. Just to show you again how it works, we got the timer, we got all this, the outer edge, just builds up going along like this. On this side, though, you have to come out by 1 because we have redstone on top of all these. That's why you see the edge out there, and I put half slabs so nothing would spawn on them. You just have to skip a little space for this repeater. You may actually, now that I'm thinking about it, not even need to skip the space. Let's making improvements as I'm making this video. Now that I think about it, there could be done something like this. You put the repeater there, and it sends the pulse through the block. Something like that. Let's see if that works. Yep, that still works. I'm sure. Yeah, the end one is still blinking, so it still goes just as far. And yeah, so you can make it more light proof than I had it. But yeah, just extend this down and come back in here. Oops. Now obviously the end does not need to be glass. I did that just so it's easy to look in and see how everything's working. And now, at this point, you just repeat everything. It's 4 blocks high, so you put the floor in here. And then an empty space, and then the furnaces with the redstone on top. And to get redstone on top of the furnace, you have to hold shift as you place it. But, yeah, it's just, I have 7 slime blocks, 2 sticky pistons, and then you can stick 4 other blocks. If you try to stick another block, let's, it kind of just gets stuck, and the pistons don't move anymore because you can't move that many things at once. Yeah, breaking it allows it to move again. Yeah, so that's why when I had the block on the end here, I only had 3 blocks at the bottom, because that's the limit of number of blocks that can be moved. So there was a too wide space at the edge that spiders could get through, but generally some string is nice. You don't need to go crazy with string, so I didn't really care that not every spider got pushed, that the spider could get potentially past the wiper. But yeah, that's basically how this goes. And then you just repeat this up as high as you want. The one thing I did find, and I'll show you over here on this version. So basically, it's where I found it is I did have originally extra repeater here, and for some reason the next repeater doesn't blink anymore. So I'm not sure why that happens, but yeah, just you can use repeaters to extend this up, like I have here. You know, we were going up on the half slabs, and we were this power 5, so I could have gone a few more blocks, but we were running low on signal strength. So I stuck in a repeater and continued up, but you can't have 2 repeaters in a row. See that the second one just doesn't work. You can see the arm just stopped. Take this out. Put a normal redstone, works again. I did find you can put a repeater, a single redstone, and then another repeater, and it does work. Just for some reason, 2 repeaters in a row doesn't when it's being blinked that fast by this circuit. So, turn that off. All the light should come on. Yep. So that will prevent any more spawns. Any mobs that are in there will stay in there until you get far enough away that they despawn. But yeah, that's how this works. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time, where hopefully I will have that record farm ready to show you guys. So I'll see you guys then.